welcome to the gathering in quarantine. Hi, Mike.
Hey, Terry, how we doing?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
Good. Loving your backdrop over there with the American flag.
And you as well. Yeah, I'd like to make an appointment in that Oval Office.
This will be the only time I've ever inside the Oval Office. So
hey, you never know. You never know what tomorrow's going to bring.
Right.
And I want to say hi to all the viewers and welcome. And I hope you and your family are doing well during this time. And tonight's a very special dinner because the next show will be focused on Halloween. So, and then right after that, that next week is the election. So this was really the only time I could do a presidential dinner. And what I did was I took favorite dinners of past presidents. So it doesn't matter what affiliation you are, Democrat, Republican, Independent, there's something for everybody here. And as far as my outfit, red, white, and blue, and even though I know it's after Labor Day and you're not supposed to wear white, this is a special occasion because it's patriotic.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So you want to know what's on the menu?
Yeah, I'm going to show everybody as you tell us.
Okay. So we have Trump's Cobb salad. We have Kennedy's beef stroganoff. And we have Obama's no creamed spinach. And then we have Truman's Ozark pudding. And then we'll get to the snacks later for the previous other presidents. So that'll be a fun way to end with a couple of snacks and opening up the wine, because a little interesting tidbit about that as well.
Excellent.
Yeah, so what we're going to do is we're going to start with Truman's Ozark pudding. Now, I know it doesn't sound all that appetizing, Ozarks, I don't know if you ever been through the Ozarks, but it is quite different. But this sounded like a really tasty pudding. And once we get it in and in the oven, it's going to fall. It's not going to be up like a cake type thing. So it'll be interesting. And what I have here, I have 1 egg, 3/4 cup of sugar, 2 tablespoons of flour, 1.5 teaspoon of baking powder, 1/4 teaspoon of salt, 1/2 cup of apples peeled and chopped. I have half a cup of walnuts chopped, and I have 1 teaspoon of vanilla. So we're going to start by beating the egg, I should say, and sugar. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do it with a fork, because I like to think, I'm back when Truman was in office, because I want to say, when did he pass? Was it 1953? Or was that when he left office?
I think 52 was office.
Yeah, okay. So, how many electric beaters? Well, maybe. But look, this is coming out really, really nice.
Well, they also had the little hand cranking beaters too.
That's right.
That's what I learned with. I learned with that in my home ec class at Lincoln Junior High.
I love it. Absolutely. So now we're going to add the flour and the baking powder and the salt. And then we're going to mix that all up. This is pretty interesting. So it's kind of looking like a custard. I don't know how much you can see right here.
Yeah, nice and creamy like a custard, sure.
Yeah. So that is the pudding effect. So I'm going to try and get everything off the side. Okay, now this is pretty well blended. So now I'm going to fold in actually, just to blend it well, I'm going to add the vanilla, because I want that incorporated into everything.
Right. And one nice thing, you're using regular vanilla, you're not using vanilla extract. Because vanilla, there's a difference between the two, right?
Yes.
The extract is more condensed.
Mm-hmm. That's right. And as we all know, I'm not really a baker. So whatever you say, Mike, sounds good to me.
Well, it's called pudding, so I'm not going to call you a baker with pudding.
Yeah, but it goes in the oven and it does bake.
That's
So
true, right? Yeah, like some puddings do, sure.
yeah, that's right. So I am going to fold in the apples and the walnuts. Now you can imagine how nice this is going to taste, right?
Oh, yeah.
And then you're going to, when it's out of the oven, like I said, it's not going to be high. It's going to fall, but it's supposed to. And then you serve it with vanilla ice cream, which I'll take out later.
Which is fantastic on everything.
Yes.
It's called a la mode for a reason.
Oh, boy, I'll tell you. It's beautiful. So
And that's just a regular pie dish that you're putting it in, right?
that's correct. And I want to use a spoon to get the sides,
Oh, yeah.
Because that's
No.
a good.
No custard left behind.
That's right. That's right. So I have my oven preheated
Okay.
to 350. I just want to put these in here. And this will go into a 350 oven for 30-35 minutes. Okay?
All right. We'll keep an eye on that.
Yep. And while that's in there, I'm going to start to melt butter in this pan. And this is going to be our next dish that I can talk about, which is being from Massachusetts, one of our favorite presidents, President Kennedy. So he loved beef stroganoff. Okay? So I thought, what a perfect dish, right?
Okay.
And what I have.
I figured one of his favorite dishes would be like lobster because he was down the Cape all the time.
Well, that's true. That's true.
I would think of it.
Yep, it was one, and certainly clam chowder was another one of his favorites.
Sure.
But he loved his beef stroganoff. And what I have here, I have 2 pounds of beef sirloin sliced, 3 tablespoons of flour, 4 tablespoons of butter divided. I have a half a cup of sour cream. I have 3 tablespoons of tomato juice. I have a 1/4 cup of onion, minced, diced, whatever you want to call it, and 1 pound of mushrooms sliced. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to saute the mushrooms. I'm going to turn up the heat just a little bit and melt this butter. And I'm going to add the mushrooms. And what we'll do is we're going to saute the mushrooms, get them nice and browned. And then we're going to cook the beef, brown that, set both the mushrooms and the beef aside. Then we're going to put together the sauce, the stroganoff.
Okay.
And then once we do that, we'll mix everything up and put it over the, I'm going to put 30 minutes on here just in case. So we don't,
Don't overdo that. Yeah.
That's right. We don't miss that pudding or mess it up.
So this beef stroganoff, it's basically, is it a casserole dish?
It's, no, because well, I guess you might call it a casserole dish, but you're not baking it in the oven. It's not a casserole.
Okay.
Okay. So you're sauteing everything, and then you're putting it over noodles,
Okay.
wire noodles. And he loved it, and Jackie used to make it. So, so that's interesting. So
Okay.
we'll let that go while we talk a little bit.
So the noodles are already cooked. You have there? Are those already cooked?
Yep, noodles are already cooked, so that saves some time. Although noodles don't take long to cook anyway.
No.
You know?
Now, what kind of noodles did you use? Did you use the egg noodles or did you use
Yes,
the?
wide egg noodles.
Oh, those are my favorite. Those are
Yeah.
so good too.
And here's a little different thing. I have beef broth in the recipe, but I got beef consomme.
What's the
And
difference?
it's thicker. Can you see it? It's like a jelly.
Yeah, that does look thicker because beef broth is lighter in color and I'd call it translucent,
Let
and
me let me
so the consistency is thicker as well. Oh
see it.
yeah,
Yeah.
wow,
It's
okay,
like a a, a melted jelly.
all right.
Right? Beautiful. I don't know if you like Vegemite. You know what Vegemite is?
I know exactly what it is. Yes, I do. I like it.
Do you like it? Do you like
No,
it?
I had a roommate that was from New Zealand,
Yeah.
and he would have it on toast all the time. And he begged me one day to try it, and I tried it, and all I could figure was tasted like roofing tar, like I was tarring a roof. It was. I don't know how they do it, but I tried it, and I tried it 3 different times. Just as I got older, to see if my taste buds would change. Because when I was a kid, I did not eat a lot of vegetables. As an adult, I eat tons of vegetables. I love the
Yeah.
flavor
Yeah.
in my flavor shake. I used to
Yeah.
love coffee ice cream. I still hate coffee over these years, but I always ate coffee ice cream. Now, as an adult, I don't like coffee ice cream.
Is
So,
that serious? That's my
yeah,
favorite ice cream.
I grew up on Brigham's coffee ice cream. I loved it. That was a
Yeah.
staple in our house.
Yeah.
And so I know taste buds change. So I tried Vegemite 3 times over my years. Never liked it a single time.
Wow. I like it because it's real salty
Yeah.
and it's beefy. Yeah.
I thought it was awful. But that's just me.
Yeah. Okay, so these are sauteing up nicely.
Yeah.
Okay, these are almost ready to be pulled out. Now it all depends on how you like your mushrooms. You know, what do you do? Look, oh, get! Don't you be gnawing on that wire. One of my cats, she was gnawing on the mic
Oh
wire.
yeah. Don't want to chew on that wire.
No,
Then we can't hear you.
that's right. I like my mushrooms a little al dente. So
I am not a fan of mushrooms per se. I do love the flavor that it gives every meal, every gravy, everything that I ever had that had mushrooms. I don't eat them.
now why is that, Mike?
I don't know. I don't know. Everyone says it must be a texture thing, and I might
Could
agree
be.
with them.
Could
But
be.
as a matter of fact, I've been cooking more and at home, and I've used mushrooms in my recipes because it called for it. And a lot of times I'll either chop them up finely or I slice them like you did tonight,
Yeah.
and then just pick them to the side because the flavor that it gives, like beef, like
Absolutely.
one of my favorite meals, the old Sticky Wicket, was their London broil, and they had that mushroom gravy that they put on top. It was the best, but I always pick the
I
mushrooms aside.
absolutely loved the sticky wicket.
Yep.
Absolutely. I'm adding 2 tablespoons of butter.
Okay.
And what I'm going to do here, I'm going to saute the beef and the onions. So the mushrooms are done.
Yep.
Then we'll do the beef and the onions. Put this over here. This over here. So again, you can see this is another quick dish, right?
Yeah, this here does not take long at all.
No, and as you know, for a show that's an hour, right? They really can't be.
Right. And normally, if you watch a lot of television and they show these elaborate recipes, you'll see that they have three different things of the same item. They'll have it as they put it together, they'll have it halfway through, and then they'll have
That's
a
right.
finished product.
That's
So,
right.
but what you're doing is because we don't have those budgets as the big TV shows have, and you're basically making meals that you enjoy for yourself later. Because
That's right.
normally, and if I was there filming with you, I'd be enjoying them with you too. But
Oh yeah.
but yeah, this is stuff that people are gonna eat, and you make enough. This is all you. This is all on you. This is your budget. This is your recipes that you're finding and making these that these dinners together of that click all these themes, which again, this here is something that you would have at one of your normal gatherings because this is a nice big dish. Look at that size of that casserole pan. It's huge. So this is something that you would have at one pot. You might leave it in a crock pot. You might leave it in a chafing dish to keep it warm. There's so many things, but this is something that you would definitely do at one of your parties. But now here we are in quarantine where you're making meals for yourself. This is a meal.
And right. And here's the thing, Mike. This is perfect for a family, right? Parents, a couple of kids, 3 kids, 4 kids. There's enough here for a good sized family. And leftovers if you don't have such a big family. Or if
Exactly.
you're just a couple of nights, maybe 3.
Yeah, but I mean, let's say you were just cooking for you all this stuff right here.
Yeah.
I'm looking at 6 meals throughout the week that you could freeze, use for later. If the people that like to prep for the week, people that are on diets, people that commute like yourself that have to commute to work, and you bring a little lunch with you and so forth. These are nice little handy meals. You still make, I mean, the past couple meals you made enough for 2, 3 people. This one here, this is a big plate here, and that's going to last you a while.
Yeah. Although, my brother does live here, so.
Your brother has a nice appetite like I do.
Yes, he does. Yes, he does. And he enjoys the fruits of these shows. No doubt.
Absolutely.
No doubt about it.
Which is why I'm jealous.
Well, one of these days we'll get back to it.
It will get back to normal, hopefully soon.
Yeah. Yep. And I'm just going to take a peek. Oh my. It's rising.
I bet it smells good. Those apples and the nuts in there, the smell from that must be amazing.
Oh, it is. And it's so perfect for this time of year.
And what did you use for nuts? Did you say walnuts for that?
I did. But you can put anything in there.
Right, you can do almonds, you do anything. Yeah, that's great.
Pecans. The recipe just called for chopped nuts, and that may have been because it was from way back then.
Exactly. Nuts were nuts.
Yeah.
Not like today, not like the variety.
Exactly. And yeah, we live in a pretty nice time, I have to say.
Yeah, we still do, even though everything's going on. This is still a great time to live.
Yeah, so let's talk about the presidents, right?
Yeah, I tell you, you know what? You picked some great presidents here, some great meals. When you told me originally 2 weeks ago when you were teasing this that you were doing something presidential, I wasn't sure how far back you were gonna go. I thought we might see like a Washington cherry pie coming in or something like that. Abraham Lincoln with his log cabin. What can you have in a log cabin? A lot of people think log cabin, they think syrup.
Maple
Because of the bread,
syrup.
right?
Absolutely.
So I wasn't sure what was going to happen. And then I'm lucky enough and fortunate enough that you sent me the recipe ahead of time to prepare for the show. And the pudding really, really intrigued me. And it's like, first thing I do when I make up these slides that we show and share with everybody here, I look at the ingredients and I says, well, that's cool. Now, what people can do is go to a YouTube page, look in the description, and there is the entire procedure, what to set the oven at, and how to cook, how to prepare everything. So the full recipe, you're just seeing the ingredients when we talk, but go to the YouTube page in the description section, and you'll see the full recipe, where to set your oven, how long to cook it for, and so on and so forth. And that's when I looked at that next section, which I don't post, and I'm saying, this goes in the oven?
The pudding.
Yeah, putting in the oven. I'm not used to that.
Yeah. And it's getting pretty brown. So this is interesting. I think I'm going to pull it out after, because the recipe said 30, 35 minutes. So I'm going to take 5 minutes off of that.
Okay. So I should be coming out in about another 7 minutes, I think.
16 actually.
16? Yeah, 16. I'm sorry, 16 minutes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so these are almost done. So I'm going to remove the steak.
Yep.
Okay. And then what we're going to do is we're going to do the sauce, the Stroganoff.
Now, did you make the steak bite-sized pieces to make it easier, or did you make it sliceable?
I cut them lengthwise. Well, what I did was I bought a big sirloin, top sirloin.
Okay.
Cut that in half and then sliced it lengthwise. So not lengthwise, but widthwise.
Widthwise, yeah.
So I cut it in half and then cut it this way.
Sure.
So they're about bite size, but still, for someone like me with not a big mouth, and I'm talking, physically, not verbally, might be a little.
So, but in the way that they cooked in this here, you'll be able to like just take your fork if it's too big of a piece. You'll be able to take your fork and just cut it in half.
Yep. So now I'm going to add the other 2 tablespoons of butter. And, when you do this, it grabs up all the bits in the pan, which is kind of nice. So we're going to melt the butter, and then we're going to add the flour a little bit at a time to create a paste, okay?
Well, like I like to call a roux.
There you go.
Love the word roux.
There you go. I'm going to bring over my consommé. And Mike, you are perfect for this show. Because when I don't think about it, you do.
Oh yeah, I have it. Well, let's put it this way. You and I both love food. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah.
But we both love it for different reasons, and we look at it from different angles. You put together these themes and you pull all these flavors together to make a appetizer, main dish, dessert, whatever, and everything complements one another. Myself, I say, oh, I like this, I like this, I like this. I'm not worried about my dessert complementing my salad, which complemented the entree, which complemented the appetizer. I don't look at it that way. I just look at things that I like. And you pull it together in a whole new realm, in everything from that first bite of that appetizer to that last bite of dessert. Everything is together for a reason.
Yeah, but you know what, Mike? It also plays into what you like.
Sure.
So you're right there.
Yeah.
So now this is pasty. I don't know if you can see it.
Yep. Nice roux.
And to this, I'm going to add the consommé a little bit at a time. it sounds, can you hear that?
Yeah, sizzling up.
Yep, sizzling up. And the consomme is not only going to be thicker, I think it's going to be a little stronger than your regular beef broth.
Sure.
Yeah.
And now the color to this too, and I like because you're talking beef broth, you're talking mushrooms or whatever. The color should be consistent with the mushrooms and probably like a grayish brown color more than a brown gravy color.
That's right, but you're going to be adding a little bit of tomato juice.
Right, which changes the color a lot.
Well, actually, not all that much, though. You'd be surprised.
Well, it's right. It doesn't make it look like a brown gravy.
Right. Well, if you
For
wanted it more red or orange, you could add some tomato paste. And I'm sure some recipes out there do that. Now, this is all incorporated pretty well. I'll show you. I don't know if you can see.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yes, that's the color I was looking for right there.
Yep, right there. And boy, it smells delicious. I'm going to bring over my tomato juice and sour cream, and I'm going to add this, and I'm going to turn it down a little bit because you don't want it to burn. And the sour cream is going to give it that nice flavor and another thickening agent.
Yes.
But who doesn't like sour cream, right?
Which, believe it or not, it wasn't until 52. I'm 54 now. It wasn't until I was 52 before I started using sour cream.
Really?
Yeah, I just was all because it reminded me too much of yogurt, which I still don't like.
Oh,
And
wow.
yeah, and then I started doing these recipes from HelloFresh,
Yes.
and a lot of the sauces I made have sour cream in it, and I love the flavor. I love the consistency that it gives to like a bolognese.
Yeah.
I love mashed potatoes. I make mashed potatoes without milk now. I make it with sour cream.
Oh,
It's
yes.
just, yeah, I never did that before. Here I am. I'm 54 years old. Look what I'm learning, and it's fantastic. Sour cream is amazing.
It is. It's really good. So now the sour cream lightened up the sauce. Look out, Laverne. Good girl.
Oh yeah, that's a lot lighter than it was. Yep.
So it's a lot lighter. And now, when you put the tomato juice in, it's not going to change it all that much because it'll still be brown. But
And again, so you went with tomato juice, so that's not going to change the thickness that much. Excuse me. But if you added tomato paste, that may thicken it up a little, correct?
it could thicken it up a
It
little.
could.
And I think the tomato paste would be a stronger flavor too.
Right. Right. And I also want to mention too to the viewers that if they don't know this, because I've learned this, that we're adding the flour beforehand. You don't at this point here want to add any more flour to it because then you're now got a flour flavor added to the gravy.
Absolutely.
Making the roux with the butter, you make that paste and that basically cooks away the flour flavor. Did I
It's
say
also
that right?
called berry mayonnaise.
Which I could not even spell bad enough saying. Yeah, perfect. Oh, yes. See,
Okay.
that's outstanding.
And it smells so great. So what I'm going to do now is add the beef.
Yeah.
Okay. The onions. I'm going to add the mushrooms. And you can see why Jack Kennedy loved this dish. And I'm sure the kids did too.
Sure.
And I'm sure when Rose Kennedy was cooking for her clan, although I'm not sure how long she cooked because they had help. You know,
They had a few people in the kitchen and a few
Yeah.
people around the dining room.
But this would have been a meal that clan would have loved. Okay, so I'm going to turn this off And I have to do this. I have to take a little spoon and I have to try it. Just taste the sauce.
Mm-hmm.
It's beautiful. Wow.
Now, I noticed one thing over all of this cooking throughout all the years of gathering that you really don't use much salt and pepper.
You never see me use it.
So, is there a reason for that? I just want to get that out there. Is there a reason for that?
When I'm out to eat, or there are certain things after I'm done cooking and I sit down like a steak, I'll put salt on it, but I never cook with it because I think it I don't know. I think it does something to the flavor, you know? The pepper spices it up,
Yeah.
the salt, and
Enhances. Yeah.
yeah, and you can get that from the other spices you're using. So it's not really a conscious thing.
Right. So, like, I like to cook with salt and pepper because I never add it to the meal. However, and I've never been a person at a restaurant to like add salt and pepper to a meal. What I see is because I've had family members that would, as soon as the meal would be put in front of them, they grab the salt and pepper and they just put it on right away without even trying it. They have no idea how salty or how peppery it could be. They just go. It's like a I don't know, like a knee jerk reaction. You know,
And if you're ever on an interview and they take you out to dinner, don't do that
no,
because then that shows about you that you don't think about what you're doing.
right?
It's just automatic.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
but how could you add something to something you haven't even tried yet? Because there's things that there's some pasta that I've had before that was prepared that I'd have it. It says, oh, this would be nice if it had a little more pepper, you know?
Yeah.
Then you add, but it's not like you're not gonna do it. Oh, look at that stuff. That is just amazing. What a dish.
Okay. Didn't mean to interrupt,
No, are you kidding? That was a great interruption.
but we do have to make sure we're getting all these things. Ooh. Up and ready. Look out, Shirley. Okay. In there. And 5 minutes on the pudding. Now, isn't this beautiful?
That is great.
Yeah. And it's delicious.
And see, that's the best way. What you did right there, I know plenty of people right now would want to mix it all up and stir it up. I
Yeah.
think that is wrong. Anytime that I've made stroganoff, I always plate. Well, I would do it and plate it. I wouldn't do a big thing like that. I'd plate it, and then I put the beef right on top
Yeah.
of the egg. Now, if I was going to make a casserole type of thing that I was doing food prepping, I'd probably mix it all together so I could evenly portion it.
Yeah.
But that is the best way to serve it. Let people take a. Some people like more noodles than they do the beef. You know,
Yeah, exactly.
they may want to take a little bit more out of there.
You know, it's like the Orientals. A lot of people wonder why they're small, right? And I read somewhere that Americans eat the 3-to-1 ratio. We eat 3 cups of topping to their 1 cup to our 1 cup of rice.
Yeah.
They eat 3 cups of rice to 1 cup of topping. Now I don't know how that makes sense, but they say it does. So who knows? I do know they eat a lot of fish, and that has to account for that. So 3 minutes, and I'm telling you, wow, for not a baker and just getting into sweets, I'm really enjoying this, and I'm really enjoying starting to eat what's coming out of this show. Let me tell you, because
Well, you keep it up.
don't
You,
bake.
you keep it up. We're gonna have to add bacon to your resume.
Yeah, truly. Okay, so I'm going to get this going for Obama's, what is it? No cream spinach. Now, don't you love the name of that?
You got me a little confused. Yes.
And a little history on that. Michelle Obama, okay?
Right.
When she was when they were in office, she had that whole, dietary thing. And this was part of her regimen that he loved. And who doesn't love when you go to a steakhouse? Who doesn't love cream spinach? And it's got all that sour cream. And yeah, I mean, oh my God, it's so good. This recipe is 1 pound of baby spinach, 2 tablespoons of vegetable oil thrown in the pan, 3 cloves of garlic, 2 small red chilies, crushed, chopped, 1 teaspoon of coriander, 1 teaspoon of turmeric, and 1 cup of plain yogurt. So what we're going to do is I've got the oil going in. I'm going to add the garlic and the chilies. And I'm going to start sauteing that. Now, this recipe, the chilies really give it a good kick. I have to tell you. I'm going to push this over because we have something coming out of the oven. And I have to lay it right here. I'm going to shut this off. Check this out.
Wow.
It's like,
I just want to reach in the freezer and grab the ice cream now.
yeah, truly. I'm with you. I am with you. It would melt and it would be like kind of like an apple crisp, right?
Right.
Kind of. So I've got the garlic in the pan and I'm going to put these chilies in here. Now, it's very interesting because as I was preparing the ingredients, I chopped the chilies and all I did was lick my finger.
Oh.
My tongue burned. A good burn.
Yeah.
So I didn't use all that much. So this is going to be a spicy dish. So we're going to.
Now, if I didn't have the dried red chilies, could I get away with the crushed red pepper?
Oh, yes.
Same
Absolutely.
idea. Okay.
Absolutely. Yep. So that's going. I'm going to add the turmeric and the coriander. And those are 2 spices that I absolutely love. And you got to hand it to Michelle, right?
Well, you know it has to be healthy.
Yeah. And again, no salt or pepper. So, I was thinking about that. I am going to now put the spinach in. Okay. And this will wilt down.
I love how you have to heap up a pan just to get a little spinach on your bowl.
I know. That is true. And then I'll let this wilt down for a little bit. And I'll bring my yogurt over because the yogurt is the no cream in this dish.
Sure.
So that's interesting. So remember, she was always in the garden.
Yep.
And she was always, for the kids, be healthy, eat healthy. So, so this dish came from her. He loved it. And they now have a house in Gayhead.
Yes.
And, what's not to love about that, right? The Vineyard. That's one of my favorite places, as we all know, on Earth. Now, these are starting to wilt down, not long at all, right?
Right.
I'm going to, I'm going to take out the ice cream. And I'm just going to vanilla. I'm just going to put this back here so it'll get a little soft so we can, put a little on there. So when you look at all the dishes, as you were mentioning earlier, I think all these dishes complement each other pretty well. And by the time we get to Trump's Cobb salad, you can see why that can stand alone.
Oh, sure.
I think like the man himself.
I tell you this many times for lunch, a Cobb salad would be a whole lunch. Nothing else.
Absolutely. Yeah, so this is coming along nicely. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to add the yogurt. And so we have the garlic and the chilies. And then we're going to see how this looks. And I'm going to say it's going to look a lot like what you get at the steakhouse, right? And a little color from, although the color from the turmeric and the coriander. So it has a little bit of brownish yellow hue to the sauce here. But boy, who doesn't love creamed spinach, right? And this is such a healthy alternative. And we all know, not that I push that's for sure.
Right.
Yeah, so okay, this is done. So check this out. Is that beautiful? Look at it, sweetie.
A nice little yellow color to it.
Sorry?
There's a nice little yellow color to it.
Yes, definitely. Absolutely. So, and this is a nice accompaniment for the beef stroganoff.
Sure.
And last on the menu, as we said, Trump's Cobb salad. Now, okay, when you're doing research and you're researching this and you're thinking about the presidents, who didn't love Clinton, and what did he love? Big Macs, right?
Right.
But am I going to make a Big Mac? No. So he's not represented here today, but they'll always.
Also, I was surprised that Trump loved Cobb salad because he's a Wendy's guy, right?
He also likes McDonald's.
Yeah, McDonald's. He likes Wendy's. He likes his back.
Yeah, he does. He loves all that good stuff. So what? Come on. Every once in a while, we all have to take a drive-through, right?
Absolutely.
Just to kind of come back down to earth.
Absolutely. I'm with you.
So what we have for Trump's Cobb salad is 4 hard-boiled eggs, which I'm going to quarter, 2 cups of blue cheese chopped, 2 beefsteak tomatoes chopped, 6 strips of bacon cooked and chopped, and 2 cups of turkey baked and chopped. And if you can't find turkey, feel free to use chicken. And we have spring greens. So I'm going to layer my platter with the spring greens. Okay.
Those are my favorite. That makes my favorite salad, is spring greens.
And I'm going to tell you, they make it so easy for you these days. You buy it, you don't even have to rinse it. Everything's done for you. And it's so good for you. And it's so good, so delicious. Period. So what we're going to do is we are going to layer these like this. So we're going to give this a go. Okay. We're going to see how this works. So I'm going to layer these things side by side. So we have the Cobb salad starting off with the blue cheese. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And no bit is going to sit on the counter. That's for sure. Now, for the eggs, I need to quarter them. These are 4 hard-boiled eggs, boiled for 12 minutes, and sit in the fridge so they cut really nice. Okay. And then we're going to just put them on that section coming down so that when you serve this, and I'm going to run out of space soon, so I'll have to be crunching up the items on this salad because you could use a longer platter.
Yep.
But when you go to serve this, it's nice because you can serve it this way and get a little bit of everything. So it's not like someone's going to get more eggs than you,
Right.
because who doesn't love hard-boiled eggs in a Cobb salad?
Right. Unlike when you make a tossed salad, it's more efficient in a bowl. This salad here needs to be on a platter because you're taking it by the pieces.
Absolutely. And again, for your family, entertaining, it's a show starter. I'm not going to say stopper because this
Right.
is how you start your meal. Other than what is it? Other than your appetizers that you have on the table.
Sure.
Then we're going to layer the bacon.
Right next to the eggs, right where it belongs.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good one, Mike. That's a really good one.
Yeah, because like if I was over there and we were gonna go at this salad together,
Yeah.
I'm going to take, probably more bacon and egg and a little blue cheese, and you'll probably take more blue cheese, egg, and a little bacon. It's you take what you like. You like to mix it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And so now you see, I'm gonna be a little challenged with
Yeah,
the
you'll squeeze
space.
it in.
So I'm going to just kind of put the the turkey,
Turkey, yeah.
and you can use chicken right next to the bacon. But again, you want a good amount of it because,
Sure.
and that's why this could be a meal in itself.
It is.
Dinner,
And
right?
that in the amount that you have right there, I see 4 meals. That looks like salad for 4.
Oh boy. And now we have the tomato, and then the tomatoes going on this end. Okay, and then you get the idea. You pile it up if you're kind of tight on space.
Sure.
But you get the idea. There you
Yep.
go. And that is Trump's salad. And you serve that with any one of your favorite dressings. And that's the beauty of it too, right?
That's right. Yeah, because out there you could put like 3 or 4 bottles of dressing out, and anyone gets to pick what they like. Myself, right there, I think I would probably go with a nice creamy Italian or a golden Italian dressing. Some people might just like to add the blue cheese and go with the blue cheese dressing or ranch. But I don't think there's any reason. Like when you go to the store, they have these salads pre-made, like a Cobb salad or a chef salad. They give you a little dressing in there and they tell you what to have. I don't believe in that. I believe you should have whatever you like to have, because I would, and I've had it before, I'd put a Catalina on that.
Oh, sure.
And
Absolutely.
that is way away from being right for a Cobb salad, but it's something that I like. And I love the flavor of all that. Now the blue cheese, like I say, blue cheese crumbles, you would have probably more on your salad than mine. I like it a little bit, not a lot, but I could tell you 7 different salad dressings that I would use on that.
Yep, absolutely. So now it's on to the presidential snacks.
Oh, snack
And I
time.
kind of wanted this to be a little surprise because, everybody loves snacks. Presidents are no different. And we are first going to pay homage to President Reagan and his jelly beans.
Which are my favorite as well.
How about that?
Anytime you come and visit the house, you will see some form of jelly bean at my house.
Absolutely. Moving on to Bush Senior, we've got pork rinds. Okay, he loved his pork rinds.
Yes, he did. The whole family did.
So there we go. There's Bush Senior. And then we have Bush Junior. He loved pretzels. So
I think he also enjoyed a beer with those pretzels too.
yeah, especially in his early days. I think he used to have a lot of beer with the pretzels.
And I see you went with the small pretzel sticks, which are so cool.
Yeah.
It seems like when I buy these small pretzels, I eat I grab a handful, but it seems like when you get the pretzel sticks, I eat like one at a time. I'm not gonna grab a handful. I'm just gonna pick one at a time. And it's weird. Like pistachios, if you put out the
yeah.
shelled pistachios in a bowl, I'd probably grab a handful and I'd be done. But if you put them in the shell, I could go through a whole bag.
Oh yeah.
Because it's that one at a time thing, you know?
Yeah. Pistachios are great, no matter how you have them. So here we have our Trump's Cobb salad, Kennedy's beef stroganoff, Obama's creamed no cream spinach, and Truman's Ozark pudding. And then, of course, the snacks, Reagan's jelly beans, Bush Senior pork rinds, Bush Junior pretzels. And there's one other president we need to touch base on. That would be President Jefferson, Thomas Jefferson. And his favorite thing was wine. Well, I have an affinity for that, right?
Yes.
And look at this, just happened to be. I've had this wine for a while, and look what it is. It's cherry blossom Pinot Noir. So we are paying homage and giving a nod to who? President Washington, George Washington. So how about that, people? And look at this. Look at these. Look at what glasses are going to grace this wine. These are gold engraved glasses. I wish you could feel them. It's not just painted on. This is literally engraved. They have the gold rim and the gold engraved. And in fact, I can't remember when I used them. They were given to me by a gift from a boyfriend when I was 18 years old.
Wow.
He knew I loved to cook. So, and that was quite the thing, right? So here we go. This Pinot Noir is going to have a hint of cherry. So we can think about George Washington, who couldn't tell a lie.
Sure. So, I mean, those glasses look like something that you'd probably see at an inaugural party. They do look like that. If I ever been to an inauguration, I would expect the glasses to be like that.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Or a royal dinner, which,
Sure.
we're going to have to do one of these days because I love the royals. I need to toast all the presidents right here. A little sweet, but I'm partial to the Northern California grapes. Quick, what movie?
Partial to. They got me on that one. That one.
The Parent Trap.
Parent Trap. Oh, yes. Okay.
Lohan.
Yeah.
When she switches places and she's in London having a sip, and she's from the vineyard in California, but they don't know it's her.
Yes.
And she says that after she has a sip. And the grandfather goes, where did you send her? To a finishing school? Yeah, but and then again, It's what kids know, it's what kids grow up with. And if you bring your children up with meals like this, they're going to go out and be well rounded culinary wise so that when they travel, they're not going to go, oh, I can't try that. That, no way.
Yeah.
That's how you learn about people, culture through their food, through their beverage, through their music. It's, and it's, it's not saying kids can't learn it later on because they can,
Of course they can. Yeah.
but when you grow up with it, it's very nice.
Right. And you're lucky, you know, you grew up with so many different flavors. I grew up mostly knowing Italian. I didn't get to know the Armenian side of me till I was an adult. And then after that, I just started opening up to the Mediterranean, the Greek, and the rest of the country. One of my favorite nights that which I don't know when we'll do again, is International Night at the high school, where all
Oh,
where all the exchange students show off cuisines from their countries,
yes,
and it's just taste, taste, taste. I mean, food from
yes.
Brazil, food from China, food from France. Everybody brings their own little flavors there, and it is just amazing. And I try to try every little bit,
Oh,
um,
absolutely,
especially the stuff that I
absolutely.
don't know. The stuff like I see them doing rice and crab rangoons over at the China table. Yeah, we know what that's like. We have that all the time. But Brazil. I never had food from Brazil before, and they make these chocolates that are. It's a chocolate that is covered in chocolate, covered by chocolate sprinkles, and you just pop it in your mouth and it just melts. And the flavor is just fantastic of like three different kinds of chocolates.
Yeah.
Oh, it's just so yeah. You have to try it. You don't learn about people, their families, and the culture until you're at a dinner table. It
Right.
doesn't matter if you're having macaroni and cheese and hot dogs. That's where you're going to learn about people is at a dinner table. And
Absolutely.
especially if you are blessed enough to have the food from their country, then you're going to learn even more.
The Girl Scouts did that same thing when Chelsea was young with her friends. They would have the International Day, and the same thing. Sweden, Paris, Italy. It was, it's a lot of fun. And then you get to go and travel, and you actually go to these places throughout the world. One of my favorite things is traveling with Chelsea, and she's just it's just wonderful because you get to experience, not only what you did when you were on your own before children, but then with your children.
Yeah, yeah.
It's boy, because you're letting them experience it themselves.
All right. So listen, we have less than a minute left, and we talked about the next meal is going to be Halloween themed. Anything that we can look forward to that you can tease?
No, it's all going to be a surprise, but it will all be hauntingly delicious.
Okay.
And I just want to thank and toast HCAM. I love you all. I love you guys. You are always there. And what a team. You too, Bob. One of these days we're going to,
One will take my place. One of these Thursdays that I'm not around, we'll have Bob take the day.
exactly, exactly.
Well, Terry, thank you again. Great job tonight on this beautiful meal celebrating the presidents of the United States, the presidential office, and America. Great job. And we will see you in 2 weeks. And I can't wait to see what you got cooking up for us. So everyone have a good night. Terry, thank you.
And and most important, go vote.
Go vote.
Everybody vote.